Hamas will do everything they can, everything in their power to stop President Trump from his Gaza plan. Unfortunately for them, there's not much they really can do. They just don't have that kind of power. They're in the wrong league. They try to fly their little flying bicycles into the U.S. It's not going to end well for them, unless, of course, they disguise them as drones, in which case, apparently, will do nothing. But that's a discussion for another day. Over at Gaystone Institute, Khaled Abu Tomei says, has an article titled "How Hamas Plans to Foil Trump's Gaza Plan." Now, to be fair, I didn't see a real way, but let's take each point one by one. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying they're not going to try. I'm just saying I'm not scared. Hamas is basically saying that if the Trump administration dares to implement the relocation and reconstruction plan, the terrorist organization will unleash a wave of terrorism against Americans and Palestinians. Now, to be clear, they can, and they already do, unleash terrorism against Palestinians. They unleash terrorism against Israelis. They unleash terrorism against pretty much everybody. Anybody that they consider their enemy, anybody that looks at them wrong, they go straight to terrorism. That's the only play in their playbook, other than whining and lying. They do that a lot too. But as far as if they could unleash terrorism on America today, they already would have. They hate us. They've always hated us, and being able to hit us would be their masterstroke plan. They don't care what happens to their people. All they care about is making a fuss, making a mess, killing Americans, killing Israelis. That's it. They want to kill the Jews. They want to kill the infidels. And they want to rule the world. But their ambitions are a little bit high, at least as of now. Next, Hamas does not want any U.S. intervention in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The terrorist group, together with Iran's terror proxies, fear that this would disrupt their jihad against Israel. Duh. For the Trump plan to succeed, the U.S. must insist on the removal of Hamas from power and the disarming of all the terror groups in the Gaza Strip. And to be fair, he's already said that. He said that before he announced his plan. He already says Hamas cannot be there. Hamas cannot rule Gaza. And again, even before Netanyahu visited on Tuesday. It will take several years to rebuild the Gaza Strip and make it habitable once again. The Trump administration will be gone by then. The biggest fear is that a future U.S. administration will fail to block the return of terrorists to the rebuilt Gaza Strip. And there are some estimates that say that the earliest, the shortest estimate I've seen is 5 years. I've heard as many as 10 to 15 years. And that's if they were able to go in today, full-blown effort. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm not a construction expert. But those that are construction and rebuilding experts, especially knowing that they're probably going to have to find a whole bunch of traps and bombs and stupid stuff, well, they say 5 years is the fastest, and others are saying that's completely unrealistic. 10 to 15 is more likely. So that point is accurate. I don't see how Trump's plan can work. But then again, I have been unable to see how a lot of his plans work until they work. So I have, I fall into the category of I just rarely bet against Trump. All right. Last but not least, if that happens, if the U.S. Trump goes in, says, okay, we're going to rebuild Gaza, and then they start getting the stuff done, they kick out all the Palestinians, whatever. A next administration, if it's not J.D. Vance or Donald Trump Jr. or any MAGA Republican, if it's a rhino or God forbid, a Democrat, then it's probably Hamas is just going to march right back in and do their thing, if they still exist. And according to the article, if that happens, it will be a matter of time before the Gaza Strip once again becomes a large base for the jihadists, not only from Hamas, but other Islamist terror groups, of whom Israel and the U.S. are the number one target. Very true. No need to read the article. Again, you can find this over at gatestoneinstitute.org. Pretty decent article, but I don't know what's going to happen. It was a head scratcher when he announced it. I didn't get to do a show that day. I had technical difficulties, so the next day when I talked about it, I still didn't know. I have assumed that it's just a negotiating tool. It's like, as Trump is wont to do, he will throw out an idea, and then everybody's going to freak out and go, oh my gosh, that can't happen. We got to do something different. And okay, well, what's your solution? And they come up with a solution that works, or that could work with some additional guidance. And he tries it the traditional way, which he rarely does, but others have tried it the traditional way. Okay, figure out how to rebuild Gaza. And you got Saudi Arabia like, I don't know. Well, I guess, we'll just need a two-state solution. And then Jordan's like, I don't know, I don't care. And Egypt's like, as long as they don't come to us, we're fine. Now, all of a sudden, Trump says, I'm just going to go into Gaza, clear everybody out. We'll move them someplace nice, give them nice homes, nice jobs, and then we'll turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East. And all of a sudden, all these countries are like, wait a second, let's figure this out. Well, why didn't you figure it out before? Thank you for watching that clip. I hope you loved it. Two things now that you're done watching the clip. Number one, find all my stuff and be sure to follow me on Rumble, YouTube, whatever, X, Getter, Brighteon, BitChute, those places. Go to jdrucker.com/find, jdrucker.com/find. Number two, please help support our newest sponsor. You can go to jdrucker.com/infowars, jdrucker.com/infowars, and shop the Alex Jones store. Help to keep an important piece of the media alive and well. jdrucker.com/infowars.